Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to show you how to draw a gorgeous tropical scene in Procreate, complete with palm trees, a sailboat, seagulls, and a relaxing ocean. It's going to be super fun, so grab your iPad, settle in, and let's get started. First thing you're going to do is make a new canvas. So go and tap the plus in the upper right corner and say screen size. Make sure your iPad is in the vertical position. And then now let's do our backdrop. So we can still go on layer 1. And then now we're going to choose a nice blue, light blue color for our sky. For my brush, I'm going to be using the soft brush under airbrushing. Now let's go over this top. We can make our brush a bit bigger, maybe like 25%. That's a bit too big, maybe 7%. And we're just going to go over this top area, like this. And then now for the middle area, I want to go a bit darker, like that, and then go light again. Now I want to blur all this, so we're going to go to the magic wand and go to Gaussian Blur and slide to the right. And I want to go for about 72%, maybe 75. Perfect. Now I want to add some white clouds, so let's grab white. And then now just come in here and make this rounded motion for the clouds. And then let's add one more over here. And then now we're going to blur these clouds. So we're going to go back to Gaussian Blur and slide to the right. So it looks like blurred clouds. Let's go for 50%. Perfect. So now let's go to the layer menu and we're going to add our ocean now. So we're going to tap the plus. So we have 2 layers. And now for our color, I want to get a darker blue. And that looks good. And now we're going to be using the selection tool. So let's go to this S-shaped ribbon over here. We're going to tap on it. And we're going to go to rectangle and make sure you turn on color fill. So now we can zoom out a bit. And then we can make a rectangle on the bottom half of our painting for our sea. So let's go about a little bit below halfway, so about right here. And if we let go, it colors in our rectangle for us. So now we have our sea. Okay, so now I want to go back to our layer and tap the plus, and now we're going to make our island. So I want to grab a nice sandy yellow. I think that looks good. For our brush, I want to go to the calligraphy and use a script. For the size, let's grab maybe 10%. Then now let's make a straight line, or you can make a line and then tap and hold to get the perfect line. You can make it a bit longer, like that. And then let's make the top half of our island. So we're gonna make a rounded motion and then come down. Let's do that again. Come down and then connect it with this little rounded shape right here. And then the same thing on the other side. You can just make a line connecting it and then drag in the color to fill it all in. Just like that. So now we have our island. We can grab the move and transform tool to move it around. We can even use the distort tool to make it longer, like this, to make it even smaller, like that, and then we can get out of it by tapping the arrow. I also want to make this part of the island more pointy, so we can grab the eraser to fine-tune it a bit, like this. Maybe make it a bit more pointed and precise. Just like that. Perfect. Now let's add some palm trees. So we're going to again make a new layer. And then let's get a brown for our palm tree trunk. Like that. Let's make our brush 5% in size. And then we're going to make a line right here coming out of our island. This is our palm tree trunk. And then I want to make a little curve right here at the bottom that comes up to make the trunk. So we have a rounded trunk at the bottom to make it more thick. Perfect, now let's add our palm tree leaves. So we're gonna go to our layer. We're we're gonna tap on layer 3, our island, and then tap the plus. So now our palm trees, our palm leaves are gonna be under our trunk. So let's grab this green color and then come in here, let's make our brush a bit bigger, 8% maybe. And then we're gonna make a leaf shape. So it's gonna be like this, we're gonna make a spike, another spike, and then the top, which is a curve, and then spike, and then connect it, and then we can drag it in, just like that. And then now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go to our layer menu, tap on our island, and then tap the plus so it's underneath this leaf, and then grab a darker color. And we're gonna come in here and do the same thing. Maybe we can make this one a bit smaller, and then drag it in the color. And then let's do the same thing, and then let's grab a light color, like this, and then come in here, and do the same shape. Let's make this one a bit more flat. Just like that. Perfect. I actually even want to make this one smaller. So we can just grab the eraser tool and erase up here. Just like that. Perfect. Now we can merge these 3 leaves together. And then now I want to duplicate this. So instead of doing a whole other more leaves one at a time, we can just duplicate it. So we're going to slide to the left and hit duplicate. Then we're going to go to the move and transform tool right here and say flip horizontal. And then now we have these leaves that we can use to make a whole other side of the palm tree. So you can move it around a bit. Let's go maybe even more in like this. And that looks good. And then we can just tap to get out of it. Now I'm gonna merge these 2 layers together, tap and hold on it, and put it above our trunk. Now we can move them all together. So we can tilt them, put it like this. Let's maybe put it right here. And that looks really good. Okay, so now let's merge now the trunk and the leaves together and duplicate all of them together now. So we can make a whole other palm tree. We're gonna flip horizontal and we're gonna put it on the other side of this island. We can make it even smaller, make sure you're on uniform. Now we can just move it. Let's put it right here, go back to layer 4, our other palm tree, tilt it a little bit, like that, and then tap to get out of it. Perfect, we can even now merge those 2 together and now we have our palm trees. Now I want to add our sun. So again, let's make a new layer so it's above everything else. And then now I want to get a nice yellow. I don't want it to be too similar to our island, but maybe even brighter. Just like this. And we're gonna make a circle. Tap and hold on it, say edit circle, and then now we can move it around like this. We can even make it a bit smaller. Like that, and then now let's drag it in. And now we have our sun. Now I want to duplicate our sun so we get a nice sun ray effect. So let's slide to the left and say duplicate. Tap and hold on this layer. Oops, tap and hold on it and put it underneath. Then we're gonna go to the N and lower the opacity, and I wanna put it to 50%. Now we're gonna go to the move and transform tool. Make sure you're on uniform, and we're gonna adjust these sliders. Now you see we have this nice sun effect. Now we can do that one more time. We can go to this one, layer 5, say duplicate, tap and hold on it, drag it underneath, and now we can even put the opacity even lower to 30% or 29. And then now we can adjust the sliders. So now that looks like a beautiful sun. We can merge the 3 layers together and then make it smaller. Just like that. Perfect. So now I want to add a sailboat. So now I want to go to layer 4 and tap a plus so it's above everything else. And then now let's grab a white. And then with the same brush, we're gonna make a triangle sail. Just like this. It can be like a sketch. Make it come out and then connect it with the line. It can be a bit wobbly. And drag in the color. And we can adjust some parts like that. And then now, of course, we need the boat part. So now, before we do that, I want to get a gray and just make a line coming straight down from the top. So this is like the bar that's in between the sails. And then let's grab even a darker gray. And then we're going to make a line, hold, and make it even longer for our boat. And then now let's make a curved motion going down for our boat, like this. And we can drag in the color to fill it in. So now we have a really nice boat. Now I want to use the warp tool for our sails. So we're going to go to the move and transform tool and go to warp. And now we're going to make it look like our sail is blowing in the wind. So we're going to go over here on this third triangle in the second row. And we're going to push it up a bit, just a bit. Maybe like that. And we can get out of it, and I think that looks really nice. Okay, so now I want to add shadow on all of our layers. So let's start with our sand, our island. We're going to tap the plus, go to the N and scroll up to multiply. Then we're going to tap on this layer and say clipping mask. So now we can tap and hold to get that local color, this yellow. And now I want to make some shadow over here. You can make the brush bigger. We can put some on the lower half of the island. And I also want to make some shadows for the palm trees. So we can make this shadow again on this one. And then now I want to blur it using Gaussian Blur. So let's slide let's go for about 20%. Now, of course, I want to add light since we have a sun. So let's go to layer 3, tap the plus so we already have clipping mask, then go to the N and scroll down to add. Let's get this nice yellow color and then just make this light effect right here on the top. And again, use Gaussian Blur. So we get that nice light on our island. Let's go for 45%. Next, we can merge these layers now together, and then next I want to add some shadow on our palm trees and some light. So we're going to do the same thing, make a new layer, go to the N and scroll up to multiply, then click clipping mask. Now I want to get all these colors of these leaves on our palm trees and make some lines coming out. So like this, like that, maybe like this, so it goes at the point. Just so we get some more details. Just like that. You can make this line a bit thicker. The same thing on this side. And then on this side. And then now I want to add some lines on our trunk, so we'll get that color. And then make some lines right here. Just to give it some more detail. Even right here. Perfect, now let's add some light. So we'll do the same thing, go to layer 4, tap the plus, go to the N, go to add. And then after the leaves, we're not going to put light on all of them since some of the leaves are not in the sun's light. So for example, this one is. So we can add some light right here. This one also is. Also this one we can add a little bit. And let's also add some here on both of them. Right here and right here. I also want to add some light on the trunk. So let's go right here. Over here as well. And then let's go and blur it. So go to Gaussian Blur. And then we're going to blur it just so we get that perfect light, but it's also really blurred. Maybe about 14%, 13 or 14. That's perfect. Now I want to merge these layers together, and then now let's blur or add some shadow and light on our sailboat. We're going to tap the plus, and then tap the N, scroll up to multiply, and put on clipping mask. So let's tap and hold to get this dark color on the boat. And then let's of course shadow some of that, and then go on the sailboat. Just a little bit of it. And then let's blur it. Maybe about 37%. And then now let's add some light. So let's go to layer 6, tap the plus, and then let's go to add. And then now let's grab this white up here. And at first you're gonna think it's just we're just coloring in, we're just deleting some of this gray line right here, but then actually, if we go to the Gaussian blur, it'll look perfect. It'll look like a light, just like that. So I wanna go for maybe 50%. We're gonna do a little bit more since it's white and we want to still show the gray line. So maybe 50%, just like that. And then we can just merge these layers together. Now, the last thing I want to do for our sailboat is duplicating it and then making a shadow in the water. So we're going to slide to the left, hit duplicate. We're going to take this one on the top, put it underneath it. Then we're going to go to the N, and we're going to adjust the opacity slider. I want to put it to about maybe 50%. And then now I want to go to the Move and Transform tool, go to Uniform, and then say Flip Vertical. So now we have this nice effect in the water, so it looks like a reflection. And then you can just tap to get out of it. I want to make the opacity a bit more opaque, so we can see it just a little bit more. Let's go for maybe 60%. And then now to make it look like it's in the water, we're going to be using motion blur. So we're going to go to the magic wand and go to motion blur instead of Gaussian blur. And then we're going to slide, but I only want to do a little bit. So let's go maybe for 3 or 4%, or even 5. You can even actually go for 9 or 10%. Yeah, let's go for 9%, just like that. Perfect, and then we can just merge these layers together. Now I want to add some shadow and light to our ocean. So let's tap the plus, go to the N, scroll up to multiply, and then go on clipping mask. And we can get that blue, make our brush a bit bigger, and we can just go over this bottom part right here. Grab this dark blue, go even more dark, like that. Then we're going to blur it with Gaussian blur. And we get that nice dark blue color. Let's go for 50%. Now let's add some lights. We're going to go back to our ocean layer, tap the plus, click the N, and go to add. And then let's go over this top part. So we get this nice cayenne blue. Go to Gaussian blur to blur it. So that looks so nice, like that. I also want to go back to our shadow layer and add some more shade underneath this boat right here. And then we can blur it like that. Perfect, so now let's merge these layers together like that. And then now for our final touch, we're going to be adding some seagulls. So we can go to our sun layer and tap the plus so our seagulls are above everything else. And we're gonna grab white. To make our size a bit smaller, let's go for 10%. Now let's come over here. You can't really see it over here, so let's go more down over here. And we're gonna make a wing. We're gonna make a curve coming out and then coming in. Let's do that one more time, like this. And you can just color it in yourself. And now we're gonna come from the top here and then come down, make a beak-like shape, and then come in and connect it to the circle, and then we can just fill it in. We can now make another wing right here, like this. And now I want to use the eraser tool to make our beak a bit more precise and sharp. We can make it a bit rounded, since seagulls' beaks I think are a bit rounded. Just like that. Now I want to go to our seagull layer, tap the plus, and then now we're only going to be turning on clipping mask, so it'll only show up on our seagull. I'm going to grab black, just go to pure black, and then now make some black, this black kind of shade over here on the edges of the wings. Like that. And then now I want to color in this beak black and just make this cute little eye right here for the eye, this black little dot. Next I want to grab this gray right here for the underside of the wing. You can make it a little bit lighter. And then we're just going to come over here and make the underside of the wing. Just kind of like some shading. Just some really simple shading, and then we can merge these layers together. Now let's move the seagull around. You can turn it. Now I want to put it, maybe we can make it smaller, like this. Let's maybe flip it horizontally. So we have one over here on this side. And then we can duplicate this one. Go to the Move and Transform tool, flip it horizontally, and put one up here. We can make it tilted more down. Put it right here. You can even make this one a bit bigger, and then make the other one smaller. Just like that. And then we can merge these two layers. You can actually merge all of these if you want, just like that. And there you have it, our tropical paradise is complete. I hope you had as much fun drawing this as I did. If you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more drawing videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep creating and have an amazing day.